Hey baby, are you today's date? Because you're a 10 out of 10. Sorry about that. Good morning, boys and girls of the internet. Today is Wednesday, October 10th, 2018. Vlog number 282. You know, sometimes I watch these debates online, like these videos of people having, you know, intellectual debates. Most of them encompass either, well, some of them are political, but most of the ones I watch are religious in nature. Mainly surrounding, like, one side of the debate is, you know, for religion, the other side is against religion. So they usually get, some atheist and probably some Christian pastor or apologetic. I was watching one last night. It was a couple-month old one. It's one that I've kind of put on the back burner to watch on my YouTube. Because it was a long video, so I was like, when I don't have anything else really to watch, I'll watch this one. I didn't finish the whole thing because it was getting ridiculous. It was a debate between this one pastor who was they call him an old earth creationist. Well, he believes in creationism, but he believes our earth is older than what young earth creationists think. Young earth creationists think the world is only 6,000 years old. Old earth creationists kind of, they think that, in God's day, he took 7 days to make the universe. Each one of his days is like 1 million years or something. They make some shit like that. And the other side was someone by the name of Aaron Ra. Now, Aaron Ra, he's a very good debater. He knows his shit. He's very good in the fight against religious dogma. In terms of, he's from Texas, I believe, and he's always looking out just to make sure that they're not trying to force some kind of religious doctrine in schools, in public schools. Things like some schools in Texas, they want to teach the controversy of evolution versus creationism, and they kind of want to leave it up to the students to kind of determine what side is the right side. So basically they want to teach both, but his argument is hey, this is school. You're supposed to teach facts and knowledge. If you want to have Bible school and teach what they have, that's different. But we're here to learn about what is true, and evolution is absolutely a fact. It's more factual than almost any other scientific theory that we have. And he's very big on advocating for that. And he was getting into it with this guy, this pastor, on this debate. It wasn't even a debate. It started off as with both their sides, of course, giving the little intros, and it was just cordial and normal. But then it just devolved into a shouting match. They were just trying to talk over each other like crazy, and half of it was oh, I just don't understand. And after a half hour of that, Aaron Ra actually is all if you're gonna keep doing this, I'm out. And then the guy just kept doing it, and Aaron Ra just left. Because it was online debate. It wasn't they weren't in a room or on a stage together or something. They were just using Google Hangouts. So Aaron Ra just disconnected. He left. Which I don't blame him, because the guy, Aaron Ra was trying to talk about speciation, and now I'm about to mess up a lot of things because I know some things about evolution. I know some terminology. I might get a couple of things wrong. I'm not well educated in the field, but I do know some things. mainly from listening to people like Aaron Ra and other people who know about evolution. Now there's like speciation, and there's phylogeny. I can't say that word. Phylogeny, and they classify all the species on Earth, into categories, right? You could be like broad and say like, oh yeah, there's dog, cats, and birds, and lizards, and primates. But it gets deeper into that. There's like, of course, the insects. There's bacteria, but it goes further down to that, like rodents, but before there's rodents is different, what they call clades. And there's like, if you look at kind of like what they call the tree of evolution, there's like 8 or so different like branches that it just branches off into like the different categories of everything. And when you follow all that, there's different groupings of what all the species kind of fit under, and those groups fall into other branches, and it's, of course, it's very complex. There's a lot of if I remember, I'll try to pop up a little like image on the screen of kind of like an example of what I mean. But the thing that religious apologetics try to kind of inject in all these debates is their favorite word, kind. And I'm not talking about being nice to people. I'm talking about kind as in like the canine kind, the feline kind, human kind, because that's a term basically as used in the Bible. That's how they refer to, when Noah saved all these all the animals on Earth. He just saved all the kinds. He saved the elephant kind or something, and it was just kind of like a very simplistic way. But apologetics love that word, and they don't. And the thing that bothers me, and of course, was bothering Aaron Ra in this, is that when they're in debate, they know not to use that word. Not in terms of just don't use it, but they know they're using it wrong. If you're an educated person who is coming into a debate, you would probably educate yourself on the subject. And Aaron Ra is all. You watched my video, right? You watched the previous debate I had they had a previous debate with this other apologetic, and that devolved into pretty much the same argument too. And he's all like, if you watched it, you know why that terminology is incorrect. You know why, and I told you why that's not a terminology that biologists and what we use in science, because it doesn't describe things as they are. There's more terms like family groups and clades and different things like that. That more accurately breaks down the groupings of species on this earth. And he was trying to explain that to this guy, and the other guy just kept going on and on and on and on and on and on about kinds. He's like, oh, you don't believe in kinds, so that means that when you go to home and you see your wife and your dog, you don't think your dog is of the canine kind and your wife is of the human kind, so you don't believe in kinds, and so you just think, oh, they're the same to me, so I'm gonna go have sex with my dog. What was this guy talking about? And like it takes someone that stubborn of that he's trying to get his point across so strongly that he has to make such a fallacious argument like that, and it's so disingenuous. And I'm surprised Aaron Ra stayed as long as he did. Now, the big man, the bigger man would have stayed and kind of just calmed down. And if I was in debate, like I've never been in debates, but if I was in debate and someone just kept talking like that, talking over me, because normally when you're in debate, you're supposed to have like, if it's just like a debate that has certain rules, like certain debates have rules, like you do your 5-minute argument, you do your 5-minute argument, and then you do your 5-minute rebuttal of his argument. But some of them are like, yeah, just go, just talk. And normally, if you just let people just go and talk, if they are civil enough, they'll let one another talk. But this just devolved quickly. Now, part of that is also because they were doing it on Google Hangouts, and I'm sure there was some kind of delay. Like when one person, you could tell, like when one person started talking, they're like, oh, another person started talking too, and they felt they were talking at the same time, so they stopped and they waited for the other person to start. But then like it was a couple seconds in, and they thought, oh, he's not going to start, so let me start talking. And they both had that same idea, and so they started talking at the same time again. You know, and stuff like that it's frustrating to deal with. But for me, when someone keeps like rambling like that, I'll wait till he gets to he'll like tire himself out. And I'm like, are you finished? And just, ask him, are you done with your argument? Can I speak now? And if he keeps trying to talk over me, I'll stop again. And I'll go, we're not getting anywhere because you just keep talking over me and I'm not able to give my argument. Now, the moderators of this argument, of this debate, a couple of times they've even muted the pastor, a few times because he just kept rambling. And you can see the guy, he wasn't paying attention that he was even muted because his mouth just kept flapping. And it was just dumb, and I like watching things like that only when they have like something to offer in terms of good arguments and things that are like, okay, I never thought about this, and things that a lot of debates that I do enjoy are ones that are kind of teaching me a thing that I didn't know. And this one wasn't teaching me nothing. After Aaron Ra left, the two moderators were talking to the pastor, and they had a lot of people watching online too. And it's one of their friends that some of the moderators' friends, and they're like, oh, he wants to jump on too because he wants to continue this debate because we still want to kind of finish this up. And this video wasn't even halfway over. And it was just kind of getting ridiculous. The moderators were kind of like saying, okay, hold on, dude. Let me kind of break it down to you what Aaron Ra meant with Kynes. And the guy still wouldn't have it. And they started talking about, the Big Bang and cosmic background radiation, and all kinds of things like that. And nothing really was kind of being produced because the guy was so combative with everything. And I was just like, I'm done watching this. Some of the best debaters out there, if you want to watch, like religious debaters, is watch, or should I say atheist debaters that go against religious people. Look up videos from Matt Dillahunty. He's probably one of the best debaters out there. In fact, he has a whole series on YouTube just called the Atheist Debates series, and he kind of he'll have a debate video on there, but he'll also have another video that kind of describes certain arguments that people would have, or certain rules to certain debates, or just different things. And it's very interesting. It's very educational to me, because it's, I'm not saying that it influences me in a way that I parrot these people. I probably do, but it kind of, it sparks my interest, and it allows me to, if I see something that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, I'll go look it up. I'll do more research on it. I'll if it's something that they'll say like an argument, or they'll refer to something in a Bible or different religions, and I go, really? Is it really how that is? And I'll look it up. Because I try to educate myself too. But these guys are very good. They've been doing this for many years. Someone like Matt Dillahunty, he knows the Bible in and out. He, was on the path of to almost being a pastor himself. But the way he describes it is like, oh, how did I become an atheist? I read the Bible. I read the Bible from cover to cover. I started kind of, look at the passages and weighing them against each other. And there's so much contradiction in there. I go, well, it's unlikely that some of this is true and some of it's not. But how can I believe any of it is true? And so he's like, I can't believe this stuff is true. So he just kind of questioned it. And if you question what you're reading, you'll go, huh? Why should I believe it? Same is true, I guess, with any religion or any type of. In my viewpoint, your religion is dictated by where you're born and who you're born to. When I was born to my Italian parents, my Italian Catholic parents, I didn't come out Muslim or I didn't come out Jewish. I came out a person, and as I grew up, I was, faced with Christian Catholic values. And I'm also in America, so of course it's going to be you're highly likely to be born into a Christianity-based household. That's just odds. I'm happy to say, though, that secularism and non-belief is a very growing group in this country. There's, I think, well over anywhere from between 24 to 30% of Americans consider themselves non-believers or straight-up atheists, and that's positive to me, because if you ask me, most of the problems in this world can be solved if religion wasn't the driving factor. I get it. A lot of people rely on religion, and it does good for them in terms of that's how they maintain themselves, I guess. Like, that's how they go about their day to day. They think like God looking out for them, and more power to them. If that's what they feel, that's okay, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. But unfortunately, you have Muslim terrorists, and you have, and they're not doing it for power. Yeah, they're doing it for some type of power, but they're doing it for power because they think that God ordained them with a certain power, that they should have these lands and these rights, and they should be able to spread the religion through the sword. If they weren't religious, we wouldn't have this problem. I firmly believe that. Over in Myanmar, Myanmar is primarily a Buddhist country, but they do have a large population of Muslim people. Now over there, they almost have the opposite problem, where the Muslims in that country are extremely oppressed by the Buddhists. The Buddhists are almost terrorizing the Muslims, and it's brutal out there. But again, it stems from religion. Now, do all of our problems stem from religion? No. We have a big problem with greed in the world. For example, do I believe Vladimir Putin is religious and he's doing anything he does out of religious values? No. I believe that he's just greedy and he just wants power. I don't pretend to know what his religious values are or his belief system is. All I know is that by all the things that he's doing, he just wants, to expand his power. He's just a power-hungry dictator. I wouldn't really call him dictator. Yeah, he's kind of a dictator. And that's That's his religion. His religion is greed and power. So, no easy solution to any of this. We'll just say that one easy problem to fix, again, not easy, one way to fix a lot of the problems that we have in this world is get rid of religion. If more and more people, become skeptical, start questioning their faith, and lose their faith all entirely, start raising their children in secular homes without faith in whatever holy book and Sky Daddy or whatever else, I think we'll have a lot of problems solved. You won't have this issue with people hating on LGBT people irrationally. They don't. People are like, oh, it's an abomination because the Bible says so, and so it's like, oh, gods hate fags. No, if you weren't religious, you wouldn't say that. You might think that a man on a man is gross. I don't think that, but some people think that. For non-religious reasons. That's if you wanted to say that it's not for me. I don't think it's not what I want to see or think about. That's fine. Abortion. People are so pent up against abortion, but that's mainly stems from religion, because they think that as soon as that baby starts forming in a mother's womb, that God is injecting a soul in there, and it's a person. Well, no, it's a cluster of cells. And if you don't want to get if you're against abortion, then don't get an abortion. Other people want to get abortions because for various reasons. That's their rights. I'm tired of people trying to take other people's rights for things that they believe. I can go on and on about this, but that's a subject for another day. And this video is already getting too long, so I will talk to y'all later. What do y'all think about different religious aspects? Are you religious? Have you been religious in the past if you're not right now? Or are you religious now and you are always feel that you're going to be religious or whatever? Just let me know. I always like discussing this type of thing with people. And I'm curious about why. So I'll talk to y'all later. Everybody have a good day. I love you.
Now target that wind trap with your blades. It's that little ball hanging in the middle of the door there. See it? Just let her loose.